Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Ariel, aka Ari, back at it with another video. And as you can see, like this last video from today, I am on the road. On the road to go see my mom. Like I said, for my, the week of my birthday. This is my birthday week. So, yeah, which is actually, July is definitely a very bittersweet month for me, but focusing on the positive, with all the birthdays in my family this month, including mine, so happy birthday to me. But yeah, it is Sunday and it is recap Sunday. Sunday recap. But before I get into it, remember, if you have not, like, share, subscribe, and comment, because I definitely want to hear from you. Any praise reports, prayer requests, any topics you want me to talk about, anything you may want to see on this channel, anything you've seen me do in the past that you may want me to do more of, whatever, right? And also let me know if there's anything you want to talk offline about, and I would definitely put my email out if that's the case, and so that you will be notified of all content going up. Hit that notification bell. So, like I said, today is Sunday recap, and today, since as you see I'm on the road, on top of my service being canceled today for the church I go to, well, the service being canceled at the church I go to, I watched online today as I'm on the road, and I watched Elevation Church. I watched their service, and they came from the book of Jonah. So for anyone who doesn't know the story of Jonah, basically Jonah was a prophet who, at this point, when we get to Jonah, is given an assignment to go to Nineveh to preach to them and, preach the gospel, give them a warning, right? However, because of how the people of Nineveh were, Jonah did not want to go. So instead of being obedient, Jonah went to get on the boat and head to Tarshish, which is the opposite way. Not only is it the opposite way, it is further away from where God had told him to go, going to Nineveh, right? So Jonah does this, trying to run away from God, right? Running away from God's presence. But anyone that knows God knows you cannot run from God, because he's all-knowing, he's omnipresent, so he knows everything, he's everywhere, right? So as Jonah's on the boat, God causes this great wind. And this puts not only just Jonah, but everyone else on the boat in trouble, in danger, right? Because of this great wind. So Jonah finally wakes up, tells them, it's his fault, and they throw him, and he tells them to throw him overboard because that's the only way. And reluctantly, they do that, and this calms the sea, it calms the wind, and Jonah is swallowed up by a whale or a big fish, right? And he's in the belly of this fish for 3 days. So then we get to chapter 2, where it is basically, Jonah's prayer to God as he's in the belly of this fish, right? And then after the 3rd day, God commands the fish to spit Jonah out onto dry land. And once again, gives Jonah the assignment, giving him another opportunity to obey, and tells him to go to Nineveh and, preach to the people in Nineveh. So this time, Jonah does that. Jonah does it this time. He goes to Nineveh, preaches to them, but he's not happy. Because in him doing that, God gives mercy to the people of Nineveh. And Jonah felt like they did not deserve it. Jonah felt like the people of Nineveh did not deserve God's mercy. So he was mad. So, a couple things that was mentioned, I did not think of it this way, but the whale was Jonah's discipline, right? Because we have to be, we have to learn that there's consequences to our actions. So that's where discipline will come into play, right? We have to know that we're wrong and that there's consequences to our action. So that's where I believe that the whole scenario, honestly, of the great wind and the fish, was Jonah's discipline. It was his consequence to his disobedience, right? But backing up even further, where Jonah went to Joppa to get on a boat to go to Tarshish, where he had to pay to try to run from God. He had to pay to be disobedient, right? This stood out to me because even though oftentimes we may not physically pay for our disobedience, we may not physically pay in terms of financially, right? Money-wise. We may not financially pay for our disobedience all the time, but we do end up paying for our disobedience, whether it's physically, where end up paying for our disobedience, right? And we have to end up sacrificing because of our disobedience. And the truth of the matter is, obedience is better than sacrifice, right? It's a whole lot easier to be obedient than to sacrifice. It's a lot easier to be obedient than to be disobedient, right? That's a couple things that I got from it. Yeah, that's a couple things that I got from it. From the sermon. As you can see, since I am driving, wasn't able to write and take notes. But that was just, a quick summary of what it was about. The rundown of the story of Jonah and what different parts meant. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, going back to discipline, right? In this walk, we have to be disciplined. You cannot be a disciple of God and not be disciplined, right? Which also goes into with our salvation, right? That comes with discipline. We have spiritual disciplines. Yeah, we'd be able to have fun and all of that in its place. But when it comes to the things of God, we have to be disciplined. You know what I mean? So, and the word opportunity, right? Which I'm going to look more into in terms of the meaning and the background of it and all that. But it's the origin of the original word that the word opportunity comes from a word that refers to the boat, right? Where that word means where the wind is perfect to get you to where you're going, right? Yeah. So opportunity is basically the perfect situation to get you to your assignment, to get you to where you need to be. So yeah, it was a good lesson. I say I definitely would listen to it again, see what else I can get from it, and actually take notes so that I can get more from it. You know what I mean? And I would also encourage you to read the book of Jonah, and see what God reveals to you, because every time I read Jonah, whether it's like, the whole book, a part of it, or I listen to a sermon from it, I get something different every time. It's new and fresh revelation added on to what it is that I already know. What's already been revealed to me and what's already been taught to me in terms of that book, right? So, yeah. So that is my recap Sunday for this week, the first week of July, the first Sunday of July. Well, the first full week as well of July. My birthday month. Whoop, whoop. So yeah. I'm gonna end there, and once again, if you have not, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I love y'all. Jesus loves you more. And until next time, be blessed.